Guys, I almost pulled the plug. About 2 months ago, I came this close, or maybe that close, to getting rid of my 7-string guitar. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jason, you're a freaking idiot. Gosh, freaking idiot. So I'm gonna share with you guys the 4 reasons why I almost got rid of my 7-string guitar, and I think some of you might be able to relate. Now, after I do that, of course, I'm gonna tell you why I decided to keep it. Some of that may be obvious, but there's a little twist to that, so hang around. So a little history lesson real quick. About a year ago, I picked up my first 7-string guitar, and I have this beautiful ESP E-II Horizon FR-7. Very cool, very sexy, and just an awesome guitar. Now, the reason I purchased a 7-string in the first place, which I had been kind of like on the fence about this decision for like 2 years prior to that, but my music had really evolved into something a little more heavier, kind of merging from the classic thrash metal into more of a melodic death metal. So I wanted those heavier notes, and I didn't want to downtune. I know a lot of bands downtune. I'm not for or against it. I just didn't want to do it. Maybe I'm lazy. Let's dive into the 4 reasons why I almost got rid of this guitar. Reason number 1, guys, it was just weird. When I first picked up this guitar, I started playing it, and it was like that B string was just always in the way. But persistence always wins, and I practiced my 7-string guitar, guys, every single day for a long time just so I could get used to it. In fact, I'll post a link to a prior video where I tell you how to get used to going from a 6-string to a 7-string guitar. That video is actually getting a lot of views right now and has helped a lot of people, so I'll throw that link in the description if you're thinking about making that jump. But anyway, I actually got really comfortable with what was a very foreign instrument to me, those 7 strings, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And in fact, I recorded my entire album with it, which I'm getting to that. I'm gonna release that soon, I promise you guys. But I recorded all the guitar tracks, leads, and rhythms with this 7-string guitar. So I was very comfortable, but something happened a few months ago, and this is like probably just a mind bleep. I don't like to curse on YouTube, so we'll just call it a mind screw or whatever. But anyway, so something just came over me, and it was like, you're not one with this guitar. And guys, I really can't explain it. I think all of us musicians and guitar players, because we are artists at the end of the day, we're kind of weird, and we do have some screws loose up there from time to time, but something just happened. I can't explain it. I don't know what it was, but it was like, get rid of your 7-string, go back to playing a 6-string. And it got to the point where it screwed with me so much that I considered not only getting rid of my 7-string, but going back and re-recording all of the guitar tracks I just laid for this album with a 6-string, just starting over from scratch. I know, that would have been like the stupidest thing I could have ever done. Reason number 2, because of reason number 1, I started reverting back to why I wanted a 7-string in the first place. You know, my style, again, has morphed from a thrash to more of like the melodic death metal style of guitar playing. So I thought about some of the bands that I really gotten into, and 2 bands are Amon Amarth and Arch Enemy. Well, they don't play 7-string guitars. They actually downtune their guitars. So I started going back in my mind. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just, downtune my 6 strings. And again, this reason number 1 was real weird, guys. I don't even know if you understand. I think some of you do. Some of you could probably relate. Some of you probably just want to come across the camera and smack me. Ow. Reason number 3, and this is going to sound like dumber than the first 2 reasons, but I started getting this thing in my head, and this kind of ties in with reason number 1, that having a 7-string guitar was going to limit my musical abilities as a guitar player. Now, again, I know you're thinking, well, dude, 7 strings? If I do the math, that's more than 6 strings. That kind of means you have more possibilities there. But for some reason in my mind, and again, this ties back to the first reason, in my mind, I was like, well, what if I kind of want to do an album that's more thrash metal? It didn't really dawn on me at that time that I can just do that album with a 6-string guitar, or I can just play the 6 strings on here and avoid the 7th. You know, I still have that possibility. But you know, sometimes as musicians and guitar players, if you're like me at all in this area, we sometimes get caught up in like, we're gonna go down this path and that's just it. everything else is blocked out. So if I'm gonna play 7-string, I'm just gonna play 7-string, not even gonna touch my 6-string. So I kind of had to really, help myself get over that. Reason number 4, when I started playing the 7-string guitar, one of the things that was the most difficult for me was playing guitar solos. Now, my forte is being a lead guitarist, is playing solos. I never wanted to do anything that would take away from my lead guitar abilities. So the 7-string, playing leads on that, because of that extra string and the width of the neck and all, it was a tremendous learning curve for me. I mean, it wasn't like starting from scratch again, but yeah, as I mentioned before, sometimes that B string is like, man, there's an extra string there just getting in the way. Get out of the way. Now, again, like I said before, I had gotten better. I had become more fluid in playing the 7-string, but all this stuff ties back to that reason number 1, and it was that something was screwing with my mind. I don't know what it was. Perhaps my estrogen was a little high, and I was just being a bitch. It's probably more of that. Anyway, guys, so now I want to share with you why I decided to keep my 7-string guitar. I did not get rid of it. Dude, I'm so sorry I even considered getting rid of you. So yes, I decided to keep my 7-string guitar, and guys, really, it just one day hit me like a 2-ton heavy thing, Queensryche lyrics. It's always cool and I can throw in some lyrics in the videos, kind of randomly. And man, I miss the old Queensryche. So I decided to keep my 7-string, which I'm very happy about. I was getting ready again to re-record the whole album with my 6-string, but to be honest with you, I don't know that I can replicate some of the solos that I played. And I'm one of those dudes that I'll play something and I'm like, okay, I have no clue what I just did. I wish I could have somebody tab that stuff out for me. Then I'd have to learn it, and that would kind of suck. So anyway, that was kind of one thing. It was just kind of a stupid thing I was going through. Again, maybe it was like my time of the month or whatever. Who knows? The other reason, and the other thing that really hit me, was I had to kind of take myself back to why I bought a 7-string guitar in the first place. And I want to share this with you guys. So as a musician, you're a guitar player, or if you're not a guitar player, I know I've got some bass players that watch my channel too. Hello, bass players. Very cool to have you guys on here. And I've got some drummers. But whatever you do as a musician, our music, our style, everything we do, it evolves. Eventually it turns into something else. We start here and we end up here or there, or I don't know, somewhere. But we do evolve as musicians, and my personal experience was I started out playing classic metal and thrash metal. When I started playing guitar in 1990, it was all about Metallica and Megadeth and all that stuff, and a lot of those bands, just used regular tuning. They didn't use 7-string guitars, and some of those bands didn't even tune down. But over the years, and especially over the past 6, 7, maybe 8 years, my musical tastes have evolved, and again, they've evolved more into a melodic death metal style of playing. And guys, whatever you listen to, your playing style is going to kind of follow that. It's going to kind of naturally and organically, man, we love this word organic today. I think I'll go have an organic banana now. Or maybe some organic oatmeal. But it does. It evolves into something new. You still hold on to your roots to some extent. You still have your own signature style of playing. But, I went from kind of that classic and thrash metal style to more of a melodic death metal. And this was very evident if you guys go back to my albums. My very first album I released in 2013, Apocalyptic Dreams. That's very much a classic metal, could almost be like hard rock in some cases, type of album. Then you move on to 2016, I released Heavy Metal Workout, all instrumental, geared towards working out, obviously. That album kind of shifted more to a heavier metal style. Still that classic thrash, but it was more along the lines of maybe what you'd hear off the Metallica's Black Album or something like that. Then we fast forward to 2017, that following year, I released Heavy Metal Workout 2, and that's when I started noticing my playing really taking another direction, and I was playing a lot faster and faster riffs, a lot of alternate picking and stuff like that. Still having that classic thrash vibe, but kind of merging into that, melodic death metal style. And that's when it really hit me. It's like, if my playing is truly evolving to the style, I do think I need to play heavier notes. you know, so I can get that edge of that melodic death metal growl. Now, one of the things that I kind of got hung up on for a while, and this was part of the whole decision to get a 7-string guitar versus not to get one, was I didn't want to be one of those bands or one of those artists that I get a 7-string guitar and all I do is play that heaviest note possible. And a lot of 7-string bands do that, and it's just so irritating that just to me it is. I know you guys probably like some of that stuff, and I get it, that's fine. Me though, I want to riff. So I even kind of dug a little deeper. I'm like, okay, some of the bands I like Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, they downtune, they're not playing 7-string guitars, although Jeff Loomis, who now plays with Arch Enemy, he used to play 7-string guitars in his other bands he was in. Awesome guitar player, I love that guy. But also kind of dug a little bit deeper and went to people like Chris Broderick, who another phenomenal guitar player. He plays 7-string, his band Act of Defiance. Now I know when he was in Megadeth, he had, I think Dave made him play a 6-string. He's like, dude, that's not a classic thrash metal instrument. I get it. Hey, it's Dave Mustaine's band. I understand that. But anyway, Chris Broderick, you know, his band Act of Defiance, they play 7-string, and now that dude riffs. So in saying all that, you know, these are like my reasons that I got a 7-string guitar in the first place. And I really had to go back to that, you know, when that thing I talked about that hit me, whatever it was, and it kind of woke me up as like, Jason, dude, stop being a bitch. Seriously, just embrace that you are a 7-string guitar player now. And I got over it. I kept the 7-string guitar, and I'm probably never getting rid of this specific guitar. Again, this is my ESP E-II Horizon FR-7. No, ESP is not paying me to say that. But hey, dudes at ESP, if you want to throw me some change, that's cool too. Or if you want to make me a signature guitar, even better. So anyway, guys, that's really it. I just kind of wanted to share that because I didn't know if maybe you guys have been through something like that before. Us artists, us musicians and songwriters and guitar players, we have feelings. We have strong emotions. No, seriously, we do. And those emotions get out of whack sometimes, and it's okay. But I guess what I want you to learn from my experience here is just take a step back sometimes and seriously, just breathe. Like take several seconds, breathe in, hold it. You don't have to do your hands all weird like I'm doing. And then just release, breathe out. That actually releases a lot of toxins, you know, and kind of helps you get, you know, fresh air, fresh oxygen in there. It sounds like I'm teaching you guys like yoga or something like that. No, but seriously guys, just take a step back when you have those feelings come on you, because they will come. You know, us guitar players, us musicians, uncertainty is part of us because we're creative people. We use a completely different part of our brain than the rest of the world uses. That's how we function, that's how we live, and it's how we write just beautiful and amazing and awesome music. So just take a step back, breathe, and, you know, go back to your roots. Go back to the reasons why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, and I really think that will help you. Guys, thank you so much for your support on my channel, and please share this. If it helped you, please share this on your social media or email it to somebody, share it with your friends or whatever. And until the next video, as always, keep it metal.